So I'm here with my friend Anthony at the Monetate Summit. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about organizations and the challenges they have in terms of using the data and developing a culture of experimentation and testing. And your organization's come a long way from pretty much a smaller company to an organization that has accelerated their growth because of their testing. Tell me what you've done as a leader to get the organization to be able to do that.
Sure. I think one of the easiest things, or one of the things that's kind of come with time, is making sure that when we look at things and we sit around and we brainstorm about what we're going to do next, not only are we prioritizing, but we're also saying, how are we going to measure it? So it's not just a post-mortem, it's a pre-mortem of not just what could go wrong, but how do we really think we're going to flesh it out so that we understand what happened. And that's been paramount, and I've tried to push that down in my organization, but also horizontally to my two co-founders.
So what do you think is the biggest challenge still in terms of, you're doing lots of experiments now, more than you've ever before. What seems to be the friction points around getting people comfortable around experimenting and saying, we'll trust in the data as opposed to their intuition?
A lot of times it goes after sacred cows, and that's what we all see when we get into the testing side of things. I think part of it too comes down to resources. So in my personal experience with the stage of growth and hypergrowth that we're in as a company, I think a lot of times I always say our hair's on fire and we're just running around, and we're in season right now. So it becomes hard when there are things that we know are, you putting coins in the money machine that we have to do today versus things that might produce an incremental benefit, but also might not, that are just tests, and where do they kind of happen in the food chain. It's a discipline also to kind of revisit and continue to iterate.
So if you were going to give some advice to new leadership today coming into this role, trying to get their organization to adopt the culture, what would you tell them? How would you tell them to prepare themselves and their organization for this?
Oof. So how I would ask them to prepare themselves and their organization is to, however they were going to approach it, try to figure out a process and a framework and make sure someone with the appropriate bandwidth can at least own it. And I think that's where we faltered over time, to where it started with me. I have someone on my creative team that's splitting with me right now, and then I'm at this place now to where my bandwidth as a leader and as a manager, I need to start working up a little bit higher, but a lot of the institutional memory about the testing and targeting tools reside with me. So it's don't wait till it's too late, I think, is one of the mantras I would say to somebody new coming into it. Make sure you're distributing the power from go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.